Like, it has to have had some sort of impact. And I talked about it before, but my first ever big crush, I was convinced we were meant to be together. I can't explain it any other way. That might sound insane or get over yourself, like, obviously not. And I understand that because that's how I feel now. But I'm not being funny. I thought we were soulmates. And now looking back, there's absolutely no reason to think that. We got on, yeah. Did she lead me on a little bit? Maybe. And did I read too much into it? Maybe. But I'm not assuming I was wrong. I did at the time. I was like, oh, sorry, I'll try to do better and all this bollocks. But she was in the wrong in a lot of ways too. It wasn't just me. She knew I was a vulnerable person as well. We were nice to each other, we got on well. But she led me on. And a lot of girls do that nowadays. Not all. Don't get triggered. And like, I can come on very intense, I understand that. I'm willing to open up to all that shit. But if you lead a fella on and then you keep him, you know, like on the side just in case something better comes along, like, you're not appreciating what you have. Nowadays it's tricky because you're like, oh, there'll always be a better option. We never appreciate what we have. I'm guilty of it as well. But as I'm starting to appreciate the little things, I'm getting a lot better, for sure. I think my generation are very guilty of that, not appreciating what we have. We always want more. Now, saying a little bit of positives about them, I have to say a lot of people of any gender, I'll just say that so I don't offend anyone, right? But yeah, male and female guys, non-binary, whatever you want to be, I've got no issue with what you want to identify as long as you don't start screaming at me and having a hissy fit because I use the wrong pronouns, FYI. If you're respectful and you say, could you please just call me this, I'd be like, alright, doesn't affect me. But yeah, there are bigger problems in the world than what your fucking pronouns are. I'll say that now. Just look across in the Middle East, look in Ukraine, there's bigger fucking fish to fry than misgendering you. So I'll just get that out there. I treat anyone with respect as long as they treat me with respect. I call it whatever you want to be called. But don't bite my head off over it. Getting sidetracked again. Yeah, so I do feel love very strongly. And I will feel like this person is perfect. Because I met like some really good girls who are good girls, really nice girls who they're funny, they're pleasant, smart, and I'm like, Jesus, these are way out of my league. I haven't got a hope in hell here. And so I sabotage, you know, I self-sabotage. It's something I definitely do. Don't want to let them down. I'm afraid they'll get to know the real me and what a fucking mess I am. Because I'm putting on a show for everyone, which is often how I feel. Looking at my old journals and watching a channel called Borderline or Notes, it was mad. One of the guys in it, David, could resonate with so much of what he was saying. I wrote down in my old diaries, I feel like I'm acting in a movie. He said the exact same thing. This is way before I ever even heard about BPD, EUPD. So that's insane. I literally wrote down word for word, I feel empty inside, I don't know who I am, what I'm about, what my values are. I don't have boundaries because I don't know what they are, because I don't have a clear sense of self. And like I say, masculinity was a big thing for me. So being a highly emotional kid, getting very easily triggered and wound up, I had to listen to a lot of, oh, grow up here, you know, man up, look at the size, you shouldn't be crying, and all this bollocks. Yeah, you shouldn't be crying about everything, right? Fair enough, but you can't just expect a kid to become a man without you putting in any of the work. And I see a lot of very weak men out there who don't raise kids properly. And I could sit here and say, oh, I'd never do that with my kids. I don't fucking know. You know? Maybe I'd be a terrible father. Maybe I shouldn't. Simply don't know. I'm not saying it's an easy job to do. But what I am saying is, if you decide to have kids, you can't just literally go to work all day, have no interaction with them for 1 week till the next, go out drinking on the weekend, doing your own thing, and then when they become 18, you go, oh, you're a fucking pussy, you know, you're not a real man, you're weak, you're pathetic, grow up here. You've got no right to say that to me if you haven't put in any of the work. It's up to you to teach me skills, and you haven't done any of that, you know. So we need to call it out. There's been a lot of men who failed their sons out there, and well, I'm on good terms now with my dad. There's been a lot of shit that he's been responsible for, you know. It's, I don't think holding grudges are healthy, but I have to acknowledge it, you know, because that diagnosis, autism, just comes about, you know. It's a neurological disorder, and if there's family members with it, you could develop it, and if there's family members with BPD, you could get it as well. But that was for me, the lack of identity. Always trying to be masculine, like playing rugby and going to the gym, lifting big weights, just to gain approval. Trying to go to every social event because I was afraid of looking like a loser, or so uncomfortable in my own head. Lack of ability to self-soothe, you know, look after my own head. Such a shitty feeling. It's not easy, trust me, guys. Just wanted to have a bit of a rant about that today while I'm out in nature, just to forgive but never forget, you know, because family members can fuck you up. Now, me and my mum, I just want to establish we're on really good terms now, and like, we got on so well. We love each other to bits, but it's been a lot that she wouldn't get. She just wouldn't understand it. Like, not having someone there in your corner fighting for you physically. I mean, you know, like the confrontational aspect, you need that. I'm not saying you go around beating the shit out of everybody, but if somebody physically threatens you, it's a shitty feeling knowing that you don't have anyone there for you. You're on your own. And then when you do stand up for yourself, you're then given out to, you're hit again by your loved ones. You don't develop a sense of self. You internalise all that rage. I would beat myself up about every little mistake, even just at a, you know, work skills course that I signed up for there in Wexford Local Development Centre. Opening a door wrong, you know, like pushing when you should be pulling. Glad to hear I'm not the only one, but that'd be weighing on my mind all day. Might sound stupid, but that's honestly how I feel. I'd be going, you fucking idiot, how could you be so stupid? Like, and you can imagine something that small affects me. Imagine what the bigger things do. I always assume I'm in the wrong. It's not a nice place being in my head. That's why motivation is hard. Even knowing that things are good for me, like getting out and walking, I'll be like, oh, I'm so tired, I can't. Having Alf here with me really helps. Having a dog is great. I love him to bits, so I will put other people's needs ahead of my own. and he's a dog